Hey guys, welcome to Retro Gaming Rocks. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about some of my very favorite games that I used to play in the 80s. Both on consoles and also on arcade machines. These are games that I played quite a lot, and I still go back to them today and play them because they're still relevant and they're still amazing retro games. Let's check it out. Okay, so the first game I'm going to talk about is Asteroids, and this happens to be the 7800 version of Asteroids, but I used to also play the 2600 and every other version of Asteroids that came out during those days. So this was a classic skill game, a great shooter, and one that set the pace for a lot of shooters that came out in the 80s. The sound of the firing in Asteroids has become iconic of the 1980s, and in a lot of science fiction movies and in other games they've used very similar sound. I used to love that game both on the console, but I also used to play it a lot on the arcades. Next one is what perhaps is one of the most iconic games of the 80s, and that is Space Invaders. Space Invaders was copied and cloned so many times, but this game was super addictive. I used to play it on my Atari 2600. I also used to play it on the arcades, and then a lot of the clones that came out in the 80s, I played these two all the time. I remember a few games similar to this on the VIC-20, on the Commodore 64, on the Apple IIe, and several other computers of the era. So this was a very copied and cloned game because it was super fun. It was very popular, and people really loved this game. Children and adults used to love this game. My dad used to play it with me as a kid on my 2600 all the time because this game was a lot of fun. Now, what can I say about Miss Pac-Man? I mean, this game was and still an iconic game. Again, this was a great upgrade to the original Atari Pac-Man, which was not very popular. But as soon as this came out, it exploded in popularity. This game was so popular in arcades, and it was popular on the consoles. It was said that it is one of the greatest games ever made, and it still holds true today. An amazing game, so much fun. And then as a Star Wars fan, you have to love Empire Strikes Back on the 2600. I mean, I play this game like crazy. I have been a Star Wars fan since I was a kid, and I still go back to this game and I play it over and over because it is so much fun. And very few Star Wars game of the era could imitate and duplicate the fun of this game. Loved it, still love it today. And then these last two games that I'm going to talk about, I never played these games on consoles because at the time these games came out, I was already gaming on computers, but I used to be addicted to Afterburner on the arcade. And the reason is that it had a cockpit, and the cockpit actually moved as you play the game, so you kind of felt part of the action. I mean, I spent so many quarters on this game. I used to work at a movie theater, and we had the arcade machine for this, so I would spend all my lunch breaks playing this game and spending a lot of quarters on this game. So it is still great today. I go and play it on emulators today all the time because it is so much fun to actually play this game today. It's still frustratingly hard in some parts, but it is a lot of fun. So this is one of my favorite games on the arcade during the 80s. And then the last game I'm going to talk about is Space Harrier. Another game that I never played on a console, but I also played this on the arcade like crazy. We also had this at the movie theater where I worked. And again, another game that I would play all the time. You know, at first it was really challenging, but in those days I got so good at it because I used to play it all the time. So I got really good at it. I am still playing this on emulators because it is such an amazing game. It is so much fun. And you know, I'm sorry to say that I'm not that good anymore, but I'm trying there. You know, I'm trying to play it as much as I can so that I get pretty proficient on it because it is so much fun and it brings back so many awesome memories. So I'm really enjoying playing all these old games again. And I'm gonna keep playing them because, you know, again, aside from being great, from being a lot of fun, it just brings a lot of memories back that I really enjoyed in those days. So another great arcade games of the 80s, another game that was pretty addictive, and a game that I played a lot, and I continue to play this game to this day. And thank you so much for coming to my channel and watching my video. I really appreciate it. If you like the video, please consider clicking the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell so that you can stay up to date on videos that I upload. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing, and I will see you next time.